Episode 19, SAC Baseball, College Baseball Podcast, featuring our brand new intro. TBD on that intro, working on it. One episode away from Big 2-0. Big accomplishment in the podcasting world. Though, to be honest, if you count all our bullpen segments, we're well over 20 at this point. So speaking of, before we get into things, we're recording here Tuesday night, probably going to put this out on Thursday morning or sometime Thursday afternoon. If you haven't yet, go check out our interview with Trey Dombrowski of Monmouth. Just broke the Monmouth all-time single season strikeout record. The dude was fantastic to interview, just talk with. Great competitor, great guy, someone I know all of us will be rooting for. Any of you guys had a chance to go listen to it? I know I was only one on the interview, but anybody have any thoughts to share for people that haven't heard it yet?
I liked it.
No, not yet. I'll listen to it tomorrow on my way to work.
Yeah. He is awesome. Definitely go check that out. But yeah, so like I said, we're sitting here Tuesday. We typically like to record on Mondays and just had a series of unfortunate events. There was, some weather moving through the Northeast. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my day. Yeah, I don't know if it was weather because so I was supposed to fly from O'Hare to LaGuardia to Pittsburgh yesterday. And as soon as I boarded, I literally sat down on the plane to LaGuardia, checked my phone, and it goes delayed like an hour and a half. And I was like, what the fuck? Captain goes on, he's like, yeah, they've shut down all air traffic in and out of LaGuardia, so they're canceling flights across the country. So Jesus. I get off the plane, go sit down for an hour, pound a couple drinks. They make an announcement all right, we're boarding again. I walk up to the boarding gate, and right as I look at my phone to scan my boarding pass, and I'd see that all flights from LaGuardia to Pittsburgh that night got canceled. And I was like, what the fuck?
Because we were projected to get hail, tornadoes, all storms and everything. We might have gotten some wind, and that's it.
Yeah, which is fucking ridiculous. Again, the captain was like, yeah, there's typically 4 routes in and out of LaGuardia: northwest, east, south, northwest, east, and south. And he's like, they shut down all but 1 routes in and out. So just completely fucked everything, which is ridiculous considering y'all didn't even get any weather, but neither here nor there. So anyway, end of the day, I got back to Pittsburgh. Too late to do the pod. Brennan's apparently celebrating his birthday tonight. Going out
with
to
his
Scottsdale.
mommy.
4 days early. 4 days early.
Mama's boy.
Of course, on the night of the pod, but oh well. Well, hey, so I did check, one of the segments we've been wanting to debut for a while. Let's talk about it for a little bit. I had Brennan develop some bets, and what I had originally asked him, for you guys, for context, I'd asked him, since he doesn't really have a segment that he hosts regularly, to come up with some betting lines, and then for the rest of the season, and then obviously when we cover this next season, I'll track how well our bets do, maintain a running bank, if you will,
I will be metaphorically broke.
Kid me, let me just pull up my draft real quick. I'll show you that I am broke.
Real life broke.
Well, this is why we're doing it with pretend. It's like Monopoly money. It's like computer money. Now,
that's how I first thought credit cards worked, until I found out that that's not pretend money.
You actually have to pay it back.
You don't have it, but you owe people it.
You see all. That's what it's going to look like. It's lost. I haven't won a bet in a long time.
Oh man.
Maybe that's a sign.
You quit while you're not ahead.
1-800-GET-GAMBLING.
Not for disassociated persons of Michigan or whatever.
As I say, as I'm flying to Vegas tomorrow.
Yeah, make sure to go hit up the $4.79 buffet at the Cock Nugget.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit up Eric before I place any bets and just bet opposite of whatever he tells me to.
Honestly, one of my buddies, he does that. He'll text me and be like, he texted me and he's like, yo, Shane Bieber, 6.5 strikeouts, over under. It's like, bet the under. He's like, cool, bet the over. Sure enough, it was 6.5 strikeouts. He threw 7 that day.
Smart man.
So what are you going out to Vegas for, Jowers?
I'm going out for a music festival, EDC.
That's one of the music festivals.
It's the biggest one in America, so I'm pretty hyped about that. It's going to be a Wednesday to Tuesday bender, so
Oh,
I'm starting early. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I plan on getting on the train a little drunk, and flying out at 8 a.m. So
You gonna go to Tomorrowland next year?
that's in Belgium, and no.
That would be fucking tight. Well, what's the fit check over there, Jars? And I recognize the hat. Anything new on the jersey? I'm not gonna say anything. I've just gotta set this
Yeah,
guy shit on.
I haven't
people
changed
ring
this
for
hat
me.
up since about Nam. So I'm just wearing a classic Millennium jersey. Thought it was fitting since he's closing out EDC. So yeah.
Are you sure you're not
yeah.
wearing a Halloween costume?
Oh yeah, no, I think that's the guy right below me. If this were the Brady Bunch, you can look at that. Go ahead, Suges. What's
No,
going on?
I
with
guess
you?
I got to wear a clown costume today because the Sooners lost Wichita State like 20-0. So figured
Well,
I'd throw
no,
this on.
it goes well with. I mean, I guess all of our Twitter interactions this week. Everybody thinks we are clowns too. So, I mean, I guess it fits, honestly.
Oh my
Benjie?
gosh! I honestly, you could have just said it was a Savannah Bananas uniform. That probably
They're alternates.
yeah, it wouldn't be too far from the
They're-
truth. Could you imagine like a Savannah Bananas game and like there's one Mario, one Luigi, like the Ben Joyce is dressed up like Luigi, and
I'm
then
pretty sure they
Sonny
did that.
DeChara is
Ben-
wearing like
no,
a Wario
Ben-
uniform.
Ben Joyce would be Mario, and you eat the fire thing, and he starts throwing fireballs from the sunflower.
That
That's
would
Ben
be
Joyce.
so
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Oh man, Benji, what
Benji,
are
what are
you
you
wearing
rocking,
today?
man?
Yeah,
I got the old 2019 All-Star Game Cody Bellinger sleeveless jersey.
Old Bodie Kellinger.
I don't
back
know why
when he was
any of us
good.
Yeah,
ever
back when he
tried
was,
to
like,
compete with
good.
Benji.
Yeah,
on the
that's when
fit
he
Dude,
was
check.
good.
I
Yeah,
said
we
it the
can't.
day one. Like, no one's got more jerseys than Benji.
Dude, the
Yeah.
sleeveless
got the
is
coolest
just sick.
ones.
Well, no one's got more homework than Benji either. So
That's also
That
true.
is also
Yeah, we need
true.
to get it going. So Benji,
Benji, how'd that
get an
chemistry
A.
final go? How are things going in the classroom, man?
Oh, my chemistry, I still passed, but
Hey, there you go. C's get degrees,
Anatomy-
baby.
Anatomy is my GPA is a 3.9. So
Oh God damn it, Benji.
Hell yeah.
And mine in high school was a 2.1, so you're doing better than me.
yeah, well, mine in high school was a 2.96, which is why I had to grind
So
to
you're
get
saying there's a
so-
chance.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I'm trying to get a nursing program. So I got anatomy, just kicking my ass already. It's only been 2 days, so we'll see how
Good.
this 6 weeks goes. So
Summer
Nice,
classes,
Benji.
not the move.
I mean, last night I stayed up till 2 taking notes, and then got up at 7 or actually I got up at 6:30 and drove to class. It takes me 45 minutes to drive to class too. So
Jeez.
Yup.
yeah.
Wait, okay. You
Mhm.
live in Valparaiso, or you go to school at Valparaiso?
So I live in Valpo, but my school's in Hammond.
Okay.
So
What school do you go to?
It's about 40. I just go to Purdue Northwest. It's just
Okay. So it's a Purdue
little-
system school.
yeah,
It's the fake Purdue.
yeah, pretty much.
Still.
They did actually play, or they're playing in, or they did play in the championship for baseball this weekend or last week or this upcoming weekend. So
Cool.
yeah. But
So just what's new with you, Mario?
Nothing, man. Just knocking out some remodels. I finished up 2 this past weekend, so we're working on some more.
Well, that brings us to Eric is proudly repping his top 2 team over there.
Raider power, baby.
Now,
Top what?
you wanna maybe kick us off on the recaps then?
Oh boy, do I.
Let's go. Let's roll with
Okay.
it, and then we can
So
talk
we're
about
gonna-
our rankings.
We're rolling with the Big 12 here, right? So TCU decided to just beat the absolute fuck out of the Jayhawks this weekend, outscoring them by 42 runs in 3 games. I'm gonna say it again. They outscored them by 42 runs in 3 games. One of those being a 30-3 win in game 2. So it's going to be a long trip back on those country roads back to West Virginia for the Mountaineers. OU came in, took care of business, winning game 1, 15-1, barely losing game 2, and then winning game 3, 17-7. The Wildcats sicked the Bears this weekend in a surprising series victory for me over Baylor, 2-1. Talk about a fucking drop off. Baylor has gone on an extreme downslide. So everyone's favorite terrible team has somehow throughout the season found a way to stay relevant. And Texas decided to protect its RPI this weekend. They took the weekend off. I just assume it's an RPI thing since that's kind of the craze going on right now.
No, because that is when you cancel games. They just didn't have games scheduled.
Yeah,
You could say the same about your Texas Tech Red Raiders. Two weeks ago?
You could say that they made a big brain move and said
they should have
we're just going to go ahead and cancel
Tennessee
the series by not scheduling one.
Let's schedule Tennessee 3-game series.
Let's move on and talk about my favorite fucking series of the weekend. So I'm going to start this off, and I'm going to quote some of you fellas acquaintances here real quick.
I'm safe, baby. Let's go.
Episode 17, 1 hour, 22 minutes, 24 seconds. Timestamp it.
It's got
Benjie
stamps.
says, can we talk about how Eric said Texas Tech is going to beat Oklahoma State in Stillwater? Followed up by Travis saying, yeah, that's why we said we should just shut the program down here and stop the podcast. That's insane. Episode 18, 34 minutes, 38 seconds. TJ says, Texas Tech is falling off. I know Eric said they're going to do well in the next 2 weeks. They're not. Texas Tech's not going to win. Well, Cole Stillwell and Owen Washburn and Kurt Wilson and Dylan Carter, Brandon Birdsell had some shit to say about that. Let me tell you. All right. 2 grand slams to seal the wins on Friday and Saturday. A big 5th inning where they swept Oklahoma State in Stillwater. And fun fact, Sunday they had bases loaded in the 5th inning. The announcers were talking about how they had 2 grand slams. Owen Washburn hits a 2 RBI single in the little score bug up in the top corner. Starts playing the grand slam animation during a 2 RBI single. So that's how dominant Texas Tech was this weekend in Oklahoma State. And that's what happened in the Big 12.
Let's stop sucking that Red Raider dick.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in here with the mid majors since Brendan's not with us. So I'll take
I did like the timestamps. I'll take my L.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Texas Tech was falling off. So
that was the one. I was making some comments on Reddit.
My take was bad.
I was making some comments on Reddit users that my one slam against the Red Raiders was how they hadn't played well at home, or excuse me, on the road, and they addressed that in a pretty major way. So props to them.
Their away record and getting swept by TCU.
Yeah.
Biggest knocks.
Now watch, it's going to be the opposite and they lose at home versus OSU or Oklahoma.
Not going to happen.
That would be, we're going to have that as a pick'em. I think we'll see.
I don't even know if I can say anything because I don't. I wouldn't be surprised by anything in college baseball.
Yeah. All right.
I'll put Texas Tech
I'll go ahead and hop
3, 2, and 1.
In here for the mid major since Brennan's not with us. Just going conference by conference. In the American Athletic, the leader ECU.
Wait, time out. 1 sec. Wait, we do other things other than Power 5 schools?
Yeah.
We actually do. We do in fact cover the 300 Division I college baseball teams. I know that may come as a surprise.
It's a big surprise apparently.
Yeah.
To include Iona.
Yeah, it's almost as if Iona wasn't one of our focus. It's almost as if all of our interviews almost haven't come from mid-major schools.
No, it's only Power 5 here in this podcast.
You didn't know Bethune-Cookman was a Power 5 school?
You guys know the
or
places, sir. Yeah, Missouri.
Evansville joined the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just interesting now.
Anyway,
I have more receipts, as does Eric. So
in the American Athletic Conference, the leader, East Carolina, they sweep South Florida at home to maintain their stranglehold. Quick side note, Tulane gets swept by Wichita State and then fires their head coach. We didn't break the news, but we retweeted the breaking news. In the ASUN, Liberty, they take the series at Florida Gulf Coast, including a 23-3 shellacking. Are the Flames? They might be heating up. They've won their last 6 series and only lost to Virginia Tech in the midweek because of rally boobs. In the Atlantic 10 Conference, Davidson, they're on a 9-game heater. They swept St. Joseph's on the road. They're now at 40-9. So congrats to Davidson on getting 40 wins. UConn, they do drop game 1 to Xavier. Oh shit, lost my note. UConn drops game 1 to Xavier, but they do come back to get that series. So they're still dominating the Big East. Big South, Campbell, take the series from High Point on the road. UC Santa Barbara, that conference is now over because they're not playing a conference tournament. So they finished with a 21-3 record in conference, which is crazy, with a sweep of UC San Diego. So they've officially won the Big West title. Southern Miss, Conference USA, they do stave off Louisiana Tech. They take a big series from UTSA. Big one in the Missouri Valley. All eyes were on the Purple Aces of Evansville traveling down to Dallas Baptist. Our Purple Aces take game 1, but can't seal the deal. DBU rattles off 2 wins in games 2 and 3. Big win for the Patriots. Tough to watch for us Purple Ace fans. They still remain a really good team, though. San Jose State, not a contender at all, but we need to check on them because they may have gotten arrested for treason. They put up a 30 spot on Air Force. Meanwhile, UNLV takes the series from Fresno State. They're still leading the Mountain West. Southern Conference, a little bit more sister kissing. Wofford ties with Western Carolina. The final game gets called after 7 innings, 2-2. Mercer, meanwhile, they drop game 1, but take the series over VMI. Sun Belt, Fun Belt, Georgia Southern. They take the series at Little Rock. Texas State sweeps Louisiana. Lastly, the West Coast Conference, Gonzaga swept Santa Clara easily to remain atop the West Coast. Those are the big mid-major contenders there.
Quick Georgia Southern tidbit. I saw a tweet. We were talking about GPA earlier. Apparently, it's rumored Georgia Southern's baseball team has a 2.2 GPA.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Looks like I know where I'm applying.
And speaking of Georgia Southern, I believe that they absolutely demolished Mercer today. Yeah, Georgia Southern put up 21 runs on Mercer today. Woof. Poor Mercer.
Is that legal?
21 to what?
Mercer, huh?
Yeah.
That's a
All right.
football
Who
score right there.
wants to
That's
hop
3
in here?
touchdowns.
I can do it.
Oh my God.
I'll do the SEC. So starting off, Tennessee took 2 from the Dogs, but the Dogs weren't all bite as they squeaked one out against Tennessee and got a win. South Carolina, things got wild in South Carolina as they take 2 against the Wildcats. Let's see, Mississippi State back on the downslope once again as they get swept by the Aggies.
They've never been back on the upslope.
Yeah. Ole Piss swept Brennan's Tigers of Tigertown.
Ooh,
Are they good again? That was a joke. No one answered. That's a joke.
That's a joke, son.
Auburn went 2-0 as they held back the Tide even due to the bad weather, and the Vandy boys are down bad as they lose a series 1-2 to Arkansas. So
I could have sworn Vandy won that series.
let me double check. I don't believe so. Let me double check.
Vandy.
That's why they were like
Vandy versus
12.
Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Vandy
Yeah,
copped
Vandy
that.
won.
Rewind.
Awkward.
So the Vandy boys are not down bad as they win the series against Arkansas 2-1, and that is the SEC happenings of the world. So
Yeah, a couple big series to digest there for the SEC.
I guess I just proved some people's point on Twitter. So I guess we are pretty clueless. I guess I don't know. An absolute joke, lame podcast. They're just hitting all the nails on the head. At this
Hey,
point.
but if they're
Have your
gonna call
polls
us a
stick to D1.
lame, if they're gonna call us a lame podcast, that means they had to listen to some portion of it to come up with that opinion.
No.
There's no shot they did because they were just didn't even do their due diligence to
So
see that
maybe
we talk more
they're
about
the-
mid-major teams and have more mid-major interviews than we do
All right.
P5 interviews. So
Who's next?
I'll do it. I got the Big Ten rundown. If I laugh, I'm sorry. Eric helped me out on this one. So, Maryland, who would have thought a Wolverine would get steamrolled by a turtle in the Battle of the M's? The Terps beat down the Wolverines, hanging 20 runs on them in Game 2. Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights broke out the bows and went bird hunting this past weekend, shooting down the Bowling Green Falcons 12-5 and 21-1. Bowling Green decided that that was enough of an ass whooping and canceled the third game of the series. Iowa
To protect their RPI.
yeah. The Hawkeyes, the Big Ten, I don't even know if RPI even exists for them, but the Hawkeyes
Except for Maryland.
Reigned an aerial attack on the Michigan State Spartans, taking the series 2-1 in a deciding fashion. Illinois, the cornfields weren't enough to slow down the Fighting Illini as Nebraska gets beat by Illinois 2-1, despite outscoring them in the series. Indiana, in this week's Big Ten battle of who gives a fuck about both these teams, Indiana sends the Golden Gophers back into their hole in the last place in the conference, winning the series 2-1, shutting them out while scoring 12 runs in game 2.
Send them
Purdue.
Gophers in the hole.
Purdue, in an effort to prove their first 15 games weren't a fluke, Purdue beats Northwestern down in their own stadium, winning 2 games and taking the series. And last but not least, the wonderful Ohio State Buckeyes decided to give Penn State the shower treatment, except they gave them the golden shower treatment as they pissed on them in the series, winning 11-0 and 12-3.
The golden
Baby.
shower treatment.
The Big Ten is way easier to write about than the Big 12.
Yeah, because they'll suck.
It's
except for
fucking
Maryland.
Whoa.
They'll suck except for Maryland, a little bit of Rutgers and Iowa. I think Iowa might make some noise. I think they might. I think they're. I can't remember.
Dude, they are the surprise of the Big Ten.
Oh.
Them and Maryland both, yeah.
Yeah, you get beat by a D3 team. You got to bounce back. You can't just.
Eric
Yeah,
hasn't
roll
let
over
go
and
of
get
that
right, bro.
since week 4 or whatever that was. Suges,
Yeah,
you wanna fill us in on the Pac-12 over there?
Yeah, Pac-12. So Oregon State won the first game of the series on Friday, but then they took the Arizona Wild Pussies too softly, losing the next 2 games, which cost them their second Pac-12 series loss of the year. Wild Pussies, sorry, I meant Wildcats. My bad. The reason why this series loss worries me for Oregon State too is because even though they're first in the conference standings, they can't beat the top teams in the Pac-12, which is Stanford and Arizona. And this weekend they play UCLA. So I feel like if they lose that just tells me they can't win against good competition. I think if you look at their schedule, the only really good team they beat is Gonzaga so far. So looking forward to that series versus UCLA. But moving on to Stanford, the S logo must stand for sweep because they brought the brooms out this past weekend versus Utah. That's back-to-back weekend sweeps for the Cardinals. And while we're on the subject of logos, let's talk about SC because their logo must stand for suck cock, which is exactly what they did this weekend as they got swept by the Washington Huskies. This series sweep puts them in sole possession of last place in the Pac-12. Let's keep it going with the logo acronyms. Y'all like this? Okay. Well, UCLA stood for You Can Lose All, which stood true this past weekend as UCLA handed We Suck University 3 L's over the weekend. We Suck stands for Washington State, if you couldn't put together the acronym that fast. Arizona State's logo has no letters, but what it does have is a pitchfork, which is exactly what Oregon and Coach Waz shoved right up their ass this weekend as Oregon wins the series and scores a combined 30 runs on the weekend. And finally, we have the California Bears. And I wish Colorado had a baseball team so we could see the battle of the Buffaloes versus the Bears. But because of Title High, Colorado isn't allowed to play as NCAA won't allow players to hit joints, take bong rips, or eat THC-infused hot dogs in the dugout. So Cal had to settle for the Lobos in New Mexico. And take a guess who would win in a fight, a bear or a Lobo? That's right, a fucking bear. Cal swept the series and outscored New Mexico 42-5. And that's my recap of the Pac-12.
Never fucking change your fucking recaps. They're so good.
I think letting Sue just do this was the greatest thing we've ever done.
It was. We got him out of his shell.
Speaking of shells.
No pun intended with the Mario costume.
That's pretty good. Definitely want to revisit that Oregon State thing. It's a good point when we get into the rankings, which is right after the ACC recap, which begins right now. So the state of North Carolina had a buck wild weekend for college baseball. NC State took the highway to hell, which is probably a combination of I-40 and NC 147 to play the Blue Devils. The Wolfpack were definitely living easy, loving free, and found their friends. They go into Durham and get 6 strong innings from Logan Whitaker on Friday. Back-to-back ding-dongs from Devontae Brown and LeJames Groover to take games 1 and 2. Duke does take the final game on senior day to avoid the sweep, but still find themselves in the basement or the hell of the ACC Coastal. Meanwhile, wow, what a hole. The Demon Deacons dug themselves further down in the ACC and made like Marv from Home Alone get tar-heeled. Friday was a close game as Vance Honeycutt's 2-run home run was the difference maker, but pitching miscues gets Wake Forest blown out on Saturday. UNC plates 10 runs in the 5th inning there. Wake Forest does bounce back to avoid the sweep on Sunday, but it's a tough series to lose for the Deacons, who are trying to make some, get some momentum there in the ACC. The Pitt Panthers stalked up around South Bend, but found no pot of gold. John Michael Bertrand, the perfect Catholic name, goes 7 strong innings for Notre Dame to get the win on Friday as the Fighting Irish hang 8 runs in games 1 and 2 to take the series. Pitt does avoid the sweep on Sunday to clinch an ACC tournament spot for the 2nd straight season for their first time ever. So shout out to the Panthers. After a bad weather day on Friday, the Hurricanes made landfall in Tallahassee and thought they were going to blow Florida State away with a victory in game 1 of a Saturday doubleheader. Florida State dropped another Parker Messick start despite 6 strong innings from fellow Southpaw Carson Palmquist, 2 home runs and 5 RBIs from Ariel Garcia and Yohandy Morales. For the Canes, the Seminoles, though, they had some more arrows in their quiver. They took game 2 before Ross Dunn goes 5 innings in relief to secure the series for Florida State in game 3. Big series win for the Seminoles there. Clemson at Virginia. Amidst some bad weather, the Tigers at Clemson tried but failed to claw their way out of Charlottesville with a win. Virginia used 7 and 4 runs in the 4th and 7th innings in game 1. To take that one, Clemson countered with 6 strong innings from Jeffrey Gilbert to even the series. After 6.5 hours of weather in between the Sunday doubleheader games, Virginia does get the better of Clemson in the finale. The nail in the coffin coming from who else but Rake Geloff's 18th home run of the season. The Big Daddy series in the ACC, Louisville at Virginia Tech. The Cardinals flew east to Blackbird and made the Hokies realize there's nothing worse than getting shit on by a bird. Have you guys ever has that ever happened to you guys? I swear, I was taking a walk several months ago now. I was holding my phone in my hand and a bird shat and it hit my phone. And I thought my phone screen exploded because I felt it like hit my phone in my hand. Not a fun experience for anybody. Anyway,
I heard if you get shat on, it's good luck.
My grandma.
I've heard that.
My grandma, like 15, 20 years ago. It was a long time ago when I was visiting them in Seattle. We were walking into a restaurant and she got shit on. And then dead ass, I'm not even kidding, like a week later, it happened again.
Did anything good happen?
Did she buy a lottery ticket after that?
Not that I know of, but it was literally twice within a week.
Is she still alive?
I was like 7 or 8 now.
Is she?
Okay, didn't need to ask that question. All right. Anyway, rest in peace. Louisville rolled into town and emphatically took game 1 of that series behind 6 strong innings from Jared Poland and home runs from Dalton Rushing and Isaac Humphrey. The Hokies may not have gotten any more rally boobs, but they weren't just there to play hokey pokey. They dominate games 2 and 3. Drew Hackenberg's 9th win of the season and Gavin Cross going yard in each of game 2 and 3. That secures them that series. And that's what happened in the ACC.
Sorry,
all right.
Benjie.
You're good, dude. You're good, dude. It's life, man. It happens.
So let's talk a little bit about, we put out an episode last week, I don't know what I'm trying to say, highlighting
Oregon State.
Well, yeah, that's one.
Yeah, I would like to bring up one thing about Oregon State. Our man Cooper Jerpy had a rough go at it.
Really?
It was his first game this year that he hasn't pitched more than 5 innings. And it's also the only game he's given up more than 3 runs.
And they were playing
he gave up
Washington State or who they playing?
Arizona.
Oh yeah.
The
And
Arizona Wild Pussies.
He gave up 5 runs. And it's also the most hits he's allowed, most runs he's allowed, and the fewest amount of innings and fewest amount of pitches he's thrown this year. So he got a little bit of throttled.
That is a little strange. I mean, he's been straight dominant this year.
Absolutely dominant, yeah.
Yeah,
looking at 5Ks too.
Looking at Oregon State's schedule, it's interesting because they're kind of they're the consensus number 2 team right now. We can talk a little bit about the rankings there. I guess I shouldn't say quite consensus, but they have the 16th best strength of schedule or the 16th hardest, but like looking down
I don't know
there,
how.
that's what I mean. It's kind of like DBU, right? You go down and it's like, I don't see any, it's not like the Pac-12 has been particularly strong this year. I mean, Stanford
Was it?
is the other big team, and they lost that series at home. Oregon State did. So it's interesting. I mean, we were really high on them after last week, right? When Tennessee lost that series to Kentucky and Oregon State swept Oregon, right? We felt like they were getting really close. And then the separation has widened again between the two teams, with Tennessee taking a big series at Georgia, and then Oregon State really surprisingly dropping their series to Arizona. So that all being said, let's talk a little bit of rankings. Before we get into how the playoff picture has changed, I feel like we need to address a couple of social media comments. Firstly, Red Raiders, are they a number two? Are they a number 2 overall seed?
Yes.
Could you elaborate?
Eric, so I'm just gonna, maybe this is your logic, but like, okay, so you're kind of betting that they win the Big 12, right?
No. I'll be 100% honest. This is my logic right here. This right here. This is my logic.
Your boobs?
No,
It was a completely. Are they a top 2 team? Maybe not. There's not much wrong.
you guessing yourself.
No. I even said on Twitter. Somebody said something, and it was like they said, "Oh, Eric's the only woke one. He put tech in it, where he did." And I told him, I was like, not to discredit anyone else.
That comment was from
Wake Forest.
No. Well, it was somebody else that said something similar about how that I had tech
Eric,
up at
what
number 2.
your logic needs to be is that you think the Big 12 is the second best conference in the league or in the NCAA, and you think that
This is my logic. I told them not to discredit anyone else who had them lower in the rankings.
Everyone.
I have been a tech fan my entire life, and it was a completely biased ranking.
Yeah.
But
Well,
they're also one of the better teams in the country, so it's not like it's an egregious ranking.
hey, here's a question. Where's the Big 12 tournament played?
Should be in Oklahoma City every year.
I thought that was the basketball.
In Bricktown.
No, it's going to be in Arlington.
Ooh, they
That's
changed
true.
it?
It is, yeah. It's in Globe Life Field.
At Globe Life?
Yeah.
Oh, I am fucking going, man.
Yeah, you
Don't say that because you said you were going to go to the DBU Evansville game, so we know
Yeah.
how you go.
Good
Yeah,
thing
you
I didn't
did
tell
drop the
Wes.
ball there. We had one
Good thing I
chance to
didn't
get
tell
our
Coach Carroll.
Evansville merch, and you soiled it. You soiled it.
You soiled it. We're
so-
rolling with the SpongeBob over here.
It's just, I mean, looking at the Big 12, let's pull up the Big 12 standings here.
You got TCU, then Tech, then Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's only one game behind Texas Tech. They had identical records both
Yeah, and
overall
TCU
and in conference.
TCU is only a half game ahead of Texas Tech, and their last series is at Santa Clara. So unless something really horrible happens to TCU, Texas
You're gonna
Tech
win the Big 12.
probably has to sweep Oklahoma this week. Now, we say that they just did sweep Oklahoma State, and now they're playing Oklahoma at home this weekend. So it's definitely feasible. TCU will have to, sweep to try to fend off Texas Tech. Actually, I say that I think I neglected one mid-major team. For some reason, I didn't write it down. I did see, though, something crazy in the Ivy League. So Columbia had a one-game lead on Penn. Columbia loses the series to Dartmouth, and then Penn played a triple header on Sunday and won all 3 games to force a tie. So now Penn and Columbia have to play 3-game series to determine who gets the Ivy League automatic bid.
Is there enough time in the day to play? Was it 3 9-inning games?
Let me check. I saw the scores. It was like Sunday.
I mean, what you start at 9 a.m. You got to.
Yeah, that's got to be you're playing from sunup to
I mean,
sun.
you gotta just assume that each game is going
It's
to
like
be
9 to 12, 1 to 4.
or under 3
No,
hours.
hold on. It
We
says,
did
No,
a fucking
hold on,
quad
hold on,
header
hold on.
when we were 10 years
Hold on.
old.
It says Princeton. So they played Princeton all weekend. It says 11:30 a.m. was the first game.
Yep.
Then 12:15 was the second game. So they put
They
the
must have
9
done
in
a-
But
must have
game,
been a
yeah,
delay.
game one
Two
was
inning
a
game?
full. No, game one was a full 9. I'm wondering, maybe
In
hopefully
30 minutes.
Everybody must have just bunted.
I'm thinking
Oh, it
Princeton.
says start time 11:45.
They picked up 3
3 and a
wins in
half.
roughly 7 hours.
3.5-hour game.
Dude.
Okay. Here's what happened.
Was one a
The-
continuation of a Saturday game?
Yeah, the first game, it just says it was suspended on Saturday, so it's partial of the first
Rain.
game was
Mhm.
played on
So,
Saturday.
so you could still call it a triple header. They
So,
played
yeah.
3. They finished one game.
Yeah,
Played
but
2
that's just wild that they had to win all 3 games of that series to force like a playoff championship series, which is really
That's crazy.
badass. So back to the Big 12. We'll see what happens with TCU and Texas Tech. But again, like they play a conference tournament. So at the end of the day, the regular season champion doesn't really matter too much. So we'll see what happens there. But a lot of, Texas fans are, when I say Texas, I mean all the Texas schools are going to show the fuck out at Global Life. Like Baylor, but Texas fans, Oklahoma
Well-
fans are only an hour away. Oklahoma State fans will drive down. Texas Tech, TCU.
Well, I think Baylor fans traveled well for the Shriner Classic. So
Did they?
Yeah. And Waco, I'm pretty sure is closer to Arlington than it is Houston. If
Well-
I'm not mistaken.
If for whatever reason
I think
OU
it's 50-50. I think
if
it's
OU
halfway.
sweeps Tech, if OU sweeps Tech, then they're like co-champions with TCU in the Big
T-
12.
No, TCU would have to lose a game in that series, I think, in their series against Santa Clara, because TCU's a half game up.
Yeah, but that's the Big 12 conference.
In Big
You're
12
right. I see what you mean.
games.
You see,
I
'cause
see.
TCU's already played 3 extra games. So if
I see what you
OU
mean.
wins all 3, then they would be. But what do they do in that case? They just rule them as
No,
co-champions?
if Texas Tech wins all 3, they'll be 17-7 in a game above TCU. If they go
He's saying
2-1,
No, I'm saying OU because OU's 3
Oh.
games back and stuff. They win all 3, then they would be
I
tied with
see.
TCU.
then yeah, they would share the
be
regular season
co-
title.
I don't think we
Well-
have to worry about that too much.
Yeah.
But they value like the tournament champions more than the regular season, don't they?
That's correct. Yeah. So all that really is seeding for, the end of the season tournament. So they probably give the, head to head to whoever won the head to head.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So that's Big 12 talk. In terms of, hosting picture, we had Oklahoma State as the consensus number 3 overall national seed. That obviously has gotten jeopardized big time. They fell behind Texas Tech and TCU in the Big 12 standings. At this point, it's really interesting to see, Big 12 in terms of regional hosts. Like TCU and Texas Tech might both host regionals, but there may not be a super regional host in the Big 12, depending on what happens this weekend. So we'll stay posted to that one. Oregon State, I know we talked about them a lot. We can quickly scroll down to the Pac-12. Kind of same old there, really, right? Oregon State's still winning. Stanford's now 1 game back. Big series, right? UCLA and Oregon State. I think if that was last week, if you asked us last week, it would have been a no-brainer that Oregon State, would dominate that series. But now, they just dropped Arizona. So UCLA, they've shown flashes all year that they have really good talent. But then, as you said, right, didn't UCLA get swept this weekend at Washington State or against Washington State?
Yeah.
You can lose all or whatever
You
they
can lose all. No. They beat Washington.
They beat We Suck University.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they beat We Suck University.
Who does have some pretty cool jerseys, though, not gonna lie.
true. But yeah, unfortunately, Oregon now they're 5th in the Pac-12, so they were in the national seed conversation several weeks ago. They've really fallen down a little bit, and then Arizona have surged up with that win against Oregon State, but it's really a 2-horse race there. Stanford and Oregon State, depending on who does better this final weekend, and then we'll see how the conference tournament goes. But they'll probably be,
Who does Stanford play?
they play.
Southern Cal.
Yeah, so they'll probably dominate that series.
Yeah, so they'll probably dominate, and then it's hit or miss if Oregon State.
Yeah,
If Oregon
so,
State loses the series, then if they get 1 win, then it's a tie.
we had
unless
Oregon State
Stanford
as the
sweeps.
number 2 overall seed in our playoff picture last time. I think at this point, the winner of the Pac-12 will probably get a national seed, and that might be Stanford at this point, depending on how Oregon State does. but we'll see. We will see. And then SEC. Let's talk about the SEC. Vanderbilt, or excuse me, Tennessee is still obviously way up at the top.
I think Tennessee is going to be the best team in the SEC.
No shit.
I don't watch a lot of college baseball. That's just my
That's
clown
a real bold
guess.
take.
That's my clown guess.
They're pretenders, bro. Come on.
But the noteworthy thing is now A&M and Arkansas are tied in the SEC West. Auburn's a game and a half back. A lot of strong teams in the SEC West. I think the biggest change, though, was LSU getting swept at home by Ole Miss. That really hurt LSU because we had them in the national, or excuse me, as a regional host in our episode last weekend. I think Ole Miss might have single-handedly knocked them out for that.
4 major polls dropped LSU completely.
I mean, you get swept by Ole Miss at home. So, I mean, to Travis,
they're fourth in the West now.
Is Ole Miss good now? No, I don't think so. But let's also not forget their series this weekend. I had it written down. Texas A&M is going to Ole Miss, so that'll be a big test for the Aggies, right? They have a chance to lock up the SEC West. Arkansas, I think, is playing a lesser team.
Yeah,
for the
A&M playing a former number 1 ranked team. First time this season.
We forgot that. Yeah, A&M's playing. Arkansas is playing Alabama at Alabama. So that
never know about Alabama.
I mean, they could be a wild card. They play Texas well.
This isn't football.
they play Texas very well. So
a lot of people beat Texas though.
That's a great point, actually. Thank you.
Not deserving of top 20.
That's an excellent point. Yeah. Over in the SEC East, Vanderbilt, a huge series victory against Arkansas, actually. So Vanderbilt's kind of like making a late surge. They are tied now with Georgia in the SEC East. Florida's there, another game behind those two. So, Tennessee's obviously national host or a super regional host. A&M or Arkansas, Auburn, those 3 teams are kind of all jockeying there in the SEC West.
Can we talk about how the fact in the West, the last place team is 8 games back from Arkansas, and then in the East, it's the second team is 8 games back?
That's just how ridiculous Tennessee has been this year.
Crazy.
And Vanderbilt's going. Vanderbilt's playing at home against LSU, so they need to win that game if they want.
That's such a cool.
Tennessee is so good.
Who are they playing?
They didn't even cancel their midweek for their RPI. So that's how good Tennessee is.
Really good.
Tennessee's got Mississippi State to end their year.
Last team in the
Tennessee might not even play their starters. They're just
I'm pretty sure Tony Vitello said that he scheduled that because they wanted to have a week off before going into the SEC tournament.
Well, he was right.
Yeah, no kidding. So looking at the composite rankings, Oregon State.
Actually,
yeah, what's up?
So if you look, the last 2 teams on it are Grand Canyon, East Carolina, right? They both have one on, the composite ones that are on Reddit.
Yeah.
They both have one set that ranked them at 21 and one set that ranked them at 25.
Yep.
But have a different amount of voter points. As our resident data nerd, can you explain that?
Yeah. So the way this one worked, now this is not the way ours works. Ours is not to blow anybody away, a geometric mean, right? Between just like our 6 votes are all weighted equally. So the way that this Reddit user calculated the composite rankings is you see how the NCBWA, right? The National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association has a 33 under theirs.
Mm.
That represents that there's 33 writers responsible for that poll. So the way they calculated these is they gave like each voter, a ranking. So like Perfect Game only has 2 voters. So they're like very insignificant compared to NCBWA. Which is actually the most heavily weighted one. USA Today with 31 writers. I don't really get that. But that's why they have different points.
Okay.
But yeah, looking at that,
our rankings are better.
I mean, obviously, I think we agreed. Tennessee, Oregon State, Virginia Tech were the top 3. Stanford at 4. I think we had them top 5 or 6.
Well, Stanford, they're ranked
Stanford
number
was
3 to
7 for us.
12.
Okay, actually, stop the count. Benji, we need to know what happened with A&M. So one person said that you can suck his nuts for putting A&M that low, or lick his nuts.
Well,
Excuse me.
I'll be honest. They're probably too small to find with my tongue. But I'll be honest, man. Like, I was just going through the rankings, and then I realized after we posted them that my A&M, because I usually when I do the rankings, I clear out all the rankings, right, and all of our slots, and I go through, and I just look at how the weeks went, and then I just missed them. Honestly, I know they're 25, top 25 worthy. I just missed some of their series that they've played and who they've beaten throughout the year. Just trying to analyze every team, and it's just an honest mistake, honestly.
Just an honest mistake.
Dude, when in doubt,
Yeah.
look at Travis's rankings. When in doubt,
He wasn't done yet, so I didn't.
You gotta look at mine, bro.
don't look at
Dude, I don't
Suges.
know.
When in doubt, look at Travis.
Yeah.
I rolled with Suges on one pick last week, putting Houston up there. And then they absolutely shit the bed. I'm never looking at Suges' rankings again.
Hey, I only put them up there because they were tied for first in the American.
Okay, here's something I want to ask, guys. And I had this conversation with a Twitter user who said he didn't like me, but then came to respect my opinion. So we had, which is awesome. I love making people.
Seems to happen a lot.
Yeah. Arkansas, we've got them at 6. I had Arkansas at 16. And I'm going to cut this blank space out. I'm just trying to pull up Arkansas's schedule.
Why so high?
So yeah, Arkansas, like their schedule, when I look back at their schedule, okay, going back in chronological order, lost a series to Vanderbilt. They beat Auburn at Auburn, but it was not a sweep. They did not sweep Ole Miss, even though it was at home. You remember, actually, that was like a dangerous series. They barely beat Ole Miss. They lost to Texas A&M on the road. They did sweep LSU, which now we're saying LSU is back to being trash. They lost the series to Florida, did not sweep Mississippi State, did not sweep Missouri. The only SEC series they swept was Kentucky. And, I followed Arkansas pretty closely this year because, I had them in our fantasy league. And, like, there was never a point in time during the season where Arkansas was playing and I was like, yeah, like they're definitely going to win this series. And it's just very concerning. Like they haven't swept any of the series that have been sweepable. They've lost several that they shouldn't have. Obviously Vanderbilt's like a college blue blood program in the last 15 years. But at the same time, like Arkansas was really well hyped. I mean, coming into this season, they were the best team in the regular season last year. Now they lost several pieces. I'm just saying, like, everyone's still got them in the top 5, basically. And I'm just they haven't really turned it on. They've got so much talent, but they just don't give me
Kind
confidence
of
right
similar to Oregon State. I mean, they both have great records, but doesn't really go to show for what they've
I would
done.
say
this year.
Oregon State's a little bit better, especially with that 5-game sweep
Yeah,
of Oregon.
Oregon State has actually shown that they're.
Yeah, they're the ones.
How's Oregon State shown that they're good? Who have they beaten besides Gonzaga?
They swept Oregon in a 5-game series.
Yeah, but Oregon's in the 5th team in the Pac-12.
I mean, yes, they are now.
But because of that sweep.
Yeah, they were at like 24, 25.
Okay, so
in the
Oregon's their best win.
I mean, the Pac-12 isn't a great baseball I mean, they're a good baseball conference, but they don't have a whole lot of competition other than 3 teams.
I mean, we have
they've lost at 2 out of the 3 already.
It's not a bad point, and I think we're also like we're very quick to say like Dallas Baptist, their strength of schedule is bullshit, and we're quick to prop up Oregon State's strength of schedule, but I think Sue just has a little bit of a point there. Like when you look at their schedule, like their marquee wins would have had to be Stanford, and they dropped that series at home. So I think they're still like with Jerpy on the mound, they can beat anybody, and they've got a great offense. But it is an interesting point. So
I don't like Arkansas losing to Florida either.
that's what I mean. Like it's just they have not. They've not. Still have a great record, and they're still leading. They're sharing their lead for their division in the SEC. And maybe it's just because their expectations were so high. But that's kind of like I'm just not.
Yeah,
Not.
but we can all
drinking the
agree
Arkansas
like
Kool-Aid.
A&M definitely looks a lot hotter than Arkansas,
No
even though they
doubt.
have like, even though Arkansas has a better record overall and tied in the conference, I think A&M.
Well, yeah, A&M has turned it on the past 3 weeks of baseball. They've been
Do you think
playing solid.
saying A&M over Arkansas has some recency bias to it, since A&M's like
Definitely
the most
recency.
recently the hot
Yeah.
team right now, where Arkansas has been kind of like a little bit more consistent, maybe not as like flashy and hot as A&M is right now.
I don't think A&M's like. It's not a flash in the pan. Like it's not like they've gotten hot just recently, right? Like going back through their schedule, swept Mississippi State, beat South Carolina, beat Vanderbilt in Vanderbilt, beat Arkansas, beat Georgia in Athens, beat Kentucky. Like
That's really good.
I
Yeah.
mean, they started after they lost to Auburn and then lost to Alabama. It's like they had 2 bad series, but even right before that, they beat LSU, which now are kind of showing their ass. So they've rattled off like a serious stretch. And, I had them ranked, I think, at number 4. Like there are very few teams that I would rather not play right now than A&M. They're playing a really good brand of baseball right now. But going to the composite rankings, Miami's still at 6 despite losing the series to Florida State. That kind of catapulted Florida State up to, wow, they're only 21 in the composite rankings. So,
Well, who was it? Perfect Game has them at 6, and then college baseball has them at 24. I don't think there's a bigger gap in anyone's rankings.
quite a spread for sure. Yeah. Maybe Stanford, because Perfect Game has Stanford at 12, and then they're the
Oh,
number 4
hold on.
overall team.
I
by the
don't know if
composite
we can
rankings.
say that college baseball is a credible source, because they have UC Santa Barbara at 5. They're saying that California Santa Barbara is the 5th best
Oh
team in the
my
country.
God.
That's a yikes. And then Arizona at 13.
So, didn't rank Gonzaga.
They're just a clickbait organization.
And number of voters is 1.
Yeah. Let's how about Louisville? They dropped the series. Virginia Tech. It was at Virginia Tech. I think those are 2 very good teams, like 2 possibly super regional worthy hosting teams. So I'm glad that Louisville didn't
Yeah.
drop down too far there.
What about Maryland?
What's up? What about Maryland? Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, Perfect Game has them unranked, of course. Perfect Game in collegiate baseball are just.
I mean, they're 42-10 and clearly the best team in the Big Ten. I mean, they swept Michigan this weekend.
Saying you're the best team in the Big Ten is like
But it's something. It's
saying
something.
you're the best team in a conference with Oakland and Pittsburgh.
So you're. If only.
Hey,
Can you imagine?
Pittsburgh won a game without getting a single hit. So
Yeah,
That is true.
pretty incredible
they're
stuff.
good.
Hits
They
are overrated.
also beat the Dodgers in series too.
True.
Hits are
I was
overrated.
actually thinking about going because Pitt was playing Penn State at PNC Park tonight, but I think I'm going to skip that and go. Well, I did skip that, but I'm going to try to go to one of the Georgia Tech that's coming up to Pitt this weekend. So I'll definitely be there for at least one of those games.
Are they at Pitt or at PNC?
At Pitt, yeah, just at
Oh.
Pitt.
That'd be
try
sweet.
to catch a Kevin Parada bomb.
That would be pretty sick.
That would be super tight.
That would be awesome.
You go in, I'm
and get an
assuming
auto.
on your Jackets merch.
Get an
Of
auto.
course, yeah, I'm gonna
in
debut that
enemy
if they win the series. I'll debut at the next podcast. Here's one that sticks out to me. Georgia is all but unranked now. They received a 25
One
ranking
vote.
from USA Today. I feel like Georgia's still a top. Where do we have them, guys?
We
I know we had them ranked. Did we not? No, we didn't.
they're 26 for us.
Okay, so therefore,
And
okay, well,
I mean, I had them at 18. I like the way
I
they're
mean,
playing.
they're
I think
34.
they're still
34 and
playing good
18.
baseball.
yeah,
They're
I
one
think-
game above 500 in the conference.
which is a strong. I mean, it's one of the strongest, 2 strongest conferences in baseball. Yeah, I mean, let's say
they
like, if they
won
don't host a
their- they
regional,
won
they're a
their
team that
alumni
nobody wants in
game.
their regional. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah. They're not, I don't think they'll host, but you definitely don't want them
Yeah.
in your region.
Also, Georgia has beaten teams from other countries this year. They played an exhibition game against the Ontario Nationals and won 18-1. So
Okay.
I haven't seen any other college team beat.
The more you know.
The more you
Uh,
know.
Is that a college team or minor league affiliate?
For knowing nothing about who the Ontario Nationals are, we'll say they're a minor league team. Or they're a Canadian professional
pretend.
team, and
Georgia
Georgia's beating
better
Canadian
than
professional
Pittsburgh
teams.
Pirates.
All right.
You
Hey,
heard it
okay,
here
here's the
first.
question.
I think it's
I
a
want
team made up of ex-military guys like Jowers and
like Kumar Rocker
Brennan.
signing with the Tri-City, whatever it
Yeah.
is, Wildcats. Okay, here's a question. Is Texas going to do anything in the playoffs?
Dude,
Ivan Melendez will.
I think they will. Will they get far? No.
You think they will, or you want them to?
No, I think they will. I do. Honest to God, think they will, but I don't think they will get far unless
Okay.
they flip some sort of switch.
Let me ask this. Like, we know generally the list of regional hosts, right? And looking at this composite list, let's just cut off at 16. Let's just pretend Maryland, UConn, Texas State are the last three regional hosts. Of those 16 teams, which could Texas, how many of those could Texas beat in a regional?
You said
We
Maryland,
already
UConn,
know-
and Texas State.
We already know
Gonzaga,
Texas
They could
State
They could meet
can't
two
beat
of them.
them.
a lot of Notre Dame, Gonzaga,
beat-
maybe Louisville, Oklahoma State.
UConn's who they're going to beat.
Yeah. Okay. Out of the
Texas State could
16,
beat- they could beat Maryland. I think they could beat Texas State, but
Texas State.
they didn't. Texas State beat them.
well, no, I'm
Yeah, but that's
right. I'm
midweek.
saying
They didn't
in the
run.
future.
Yeah. Okay. I guess my only point is like they would have to get one of the weaker regional hosts to
Yeah.
stand a chance. To
Oh
make-
yeah, and that's why I'm saying I think that they will do something, but I don't think they'll go far.
Also, let's be honest. It's not the Texas Longhorns. It's the Texas Ivan Melendez's.
And
Yeah.
Skylar
That's-
that's pretty good too. But
That's why they're where they're at.
are we sure Trey Faltini isn't the best shortstop in the country?
Not even close.
No, I don't think so.
Not even close.
Ivan Melendez, dude's a dog. Dude, I mean,
Outrageous.
dude's a
Outrageous.
dog. I don't know what year he is, but
He's going to be drafted this year. People are saying
Who-
like
okay.
Who do they? I wonder who they compare him to, because every scouting report when you get drafted has like a comparable to.
right
He's a DH first baseman, right?
first baseman. Yeah.
Yeah.
But people
Would
are
he be
saying
like,
like,
the right-handed Anthony Rizzo? Maybe.
people were like comparing. Now this was a while ago. I remember one tweet they did a comp to his swings a little bit like Trout's, where it's very compact, like short to the ball like that. Not saying like the overall player profile is similar, considering like Trout's a 95th percentile speed outfielder and Melendez is obviously a first baseman. But I did see that swing comparison one time. So
No, the swing comparison is very similar.
Take that
Ivan
for what
Melendez
it's
has
worth.
a short bat path to the ball. But
Oh,
I
wait.
I think
Hold on.
Rizzo
Melendez has already
or-
been drafted before.
Yeah, he was drafted in the 16th round last year.
okay, so he came
How
back.
do you
Obviously,
fucking know that? By the Marlins.
Yeah.
The 16th round.
so. If you get drafted and then go back to college, and then re-enter the draft, are you automatically
People
going
do it
back
all.
where you
People
are?
do it. People do it all
Yeah,
the
dude,
time.
all the time.
Oh,
Or is
yeah.
that just kind of like I
It-
entered the
it's a
draft to see
very-
where I was at, and then I'm going back to college? No,
You don't even
get
have to, I don't
drafted
even think
better.
you have to enter the
You don't
draft.
even have
I
to
think.
enter the draft
They'll pick you.
as a college player. As a high school player, you do have to enter the draft.
Yeah. But if you go to college, you can't enter, you can't get drafted until you're 21.
Gotcha. Okay, sweet. No, I mean, dude's good, but no, Texas won't. They will do decent in the regionals if they get a regional spot. Not hosting, but I don't think they'll go far. If they do, sweet. But I don't.
Props to them.
Yeah, if they get into the actual tournament in Omaha,
No chance.
yeah, they're going to
Yeah,
have to
but
get
I
so
can't-
hot offensively
yeah.
to
I was
cover
gonna say
up
I
all their
can't
pitching
see them
struggles.
doing because I mean last year they were solid in the tournament, but
Yeah.
I don't see them doing that this year.
All righty, let's move along and let's talk about what's going on. What's up, Benji? My bad. Did you want to say something?
But yeah, is it okay if I bounce?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
No.
Yeah. Any final thoughts you want to share, before you leave?
Bouncing Benjie.
All good. We'll get your
Well,
weekend picks, man.
Benji,
Okay.
before you leave, Ivan Melendez is projected to join Bobby Witt in Kansas City,
What pick does Kansas City have? Fifth?
the 9th pick.
He'll get
People
picked
were not
before then.
projecting him to be a first round draft pick, which is wild because he's going to be probably the Golden Spikes winner. So that's crazy.
Yeah, I know Kevin Parada's in the top 10 too for draft as well.
Yeah.
But
That's
no,
what I
don't
mean.
have
It was
anything
cool to
else.
hear, Trey in the last interview talk about playing with Brooks Lee, the shortstop at Cal Poly. That's like a consensus top 5 pick right now.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right, Benji, we'll catch you later, man.
Yeah,
Get some
absolutely.
rest. Take care of those classes.
Oh, dude, I'm taking notes for the next 3 hours. So. All right,
Get
you
it,
guys
man.
have a good rest of the pod.
Alrighty. Well, the rest of the pod, we're going to talk about this coming weekend. So it's awesome because it's the last weekend before conference tournaments. Finally getting to the nitty gritty part of the season that we've all wanted to see for so long. We're not going to do Brennan's bets this time. Just I wanted to be here to be able to host that and go through some of why he set the, levels over unders at what he did.
And I think it'll be cooler going into the conference tournaments, having the bets, and going on into the World Series.
So I wrote down a couple of big series. He's got 6 series right here. The ones we agreed on that we'll definitely have to have for our pick 'em. He wrote down Notre Dame and Virginia Tech. I don't believe that's a series. Can someone check the Notre Dame schedule? I'm
I
pretty sure they're
don't
playing
feel
at
like that's a
Miami.
series worth voting on either.
That's a great series, Eric. What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure they're going to Miami.
Couple
Yeah,
couple
Notre Dame
Catholic
at
boys
Miami.
beating up on some backwoods boys.
So I think that's a good pick. Notre Dame at Miami, because Miami just dropped the series to Florida State at home.
No LSU bias. Can we throw in the Vandy LSU?
I'm
like
down
that
to.
series.
Yeah.
I like that series because
Is it at LSU?
It's at Vandy.
No, it's at Vandy.
Vandy's gonna win.
I do.
Yeah.
You never know.
But I think LSU could take 1, maybe 2 from that.
Let's
potentially.
table that one for now.
Yeah.
I definitely want the Virginia at Louisville series. That's a good one.
OU and Tech, bro.
I have that one. I'm fine with that if we want to.
Can I put Tech at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1?
The A&M Ole Miss.
A&M
So
at
that
Ole
was a pretty-
Miss.
Yep.
Yep. Ole Miss is playing hot. Texas A&M's fighting for a super regional spot, canceling their RPI and stuff.
I think that's most from the SEC, except aside from the Bama Arkansas series, which we said Bama could potentially do something.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that one. The only really other
Yeah.
one, Auburn's going to Kentucky. We talked about Auburn. They're still in the conversation. Kentucky is not a pushover. Just for our listeners, Oklahoma State is going to Baylor. I don't think we want to have that as a pick 'em, but just for postseason implications, hopefully.
Oregon State, UCLA.
Yeah, that's the one I want from the Pac-12. UCLA is going to Oregon State. We'll see if Oregon State comes out with something to prove there. Stanford will probably look to sweep. We talked about Tennessee going to Mississippi State to kill the Bulldogs.
Dude, I feel like that could turn into an Iona matchup. Maybe not on that grand scale, but
So the other one that Brendan wrote down, Houston at ECU or Arizona at Oregon.
Well,
we
Houston, ECU.
I do like
pretty
the
much
Arizona at
decides.
Oregon.
Well, Houston ECU is going to decide
ECU
the
and ECU,
American Conference.
No, ECU already won it. They already clinched it.
Is that true?
Then no.
Yeah.
Okay.
If ECU already clinched it, I'd take that one.
Yeah, do
'Cause-
Oregon, Arizona.
Well, that's what I was gonna. I mean, we have one more. Would you rather do Arizona, Oregon, LSU, at Vandy?
Evansville.
No, LSU at Vandy
no,
or
LSU
Auburn.
at Vandy if that's not already on it.
It's not.
Yeah,
LSU
do
at
LSU at Vandy because I think that'll be an interesting series, to be
Okay.
completely honest.
All right, so we've got our 6. We've got LSU at Vanderbilt, UCLA at Oregon State, Notre Dame at Miami, Virginia at Louisville, Oklahoma at Texas Tech, and Texas A&M at Ole Miss.
Are we picking them right
Where's
now?
where's
or are
the
we
Notre
picking
Dame
them later?
Miami at?
It's at Miami. I'm gonna send these in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Picking them
good.
now
So I was
or
about
later?
to try to write these down, and
No.
I have Dexter Tech at 6. I'll kick it off.
All right,
my money
Eric
with my
coming
mouth
in
is.
hot. This will be interesting because I also have to. I think I think there's only one person
Travis?
that's not going to have Texas Tech at 6.
2 words that all the Tech fans that listen to this will know. Raider power. It's a thing.
It's called herpes.
No.
The
Yeah, it
Raider
is.
rash. What do you mean?
Raider,
2
yeah,
words,
yeah,
Raider
that's the real
rash.
2
No, no.
words.
Legit though. It's like if you go to like an Ohio State game and you yell at like OH, somebody in the crowd will yell at IO. You go to like a Tech football game, if you yell Raiders, somebody's gonna yell power. It's like
Kind of like
Straight
Boomer
up
Signer.
Muted.
Tech at 6.
All right, Tech at 6.
Heck, it's 6.
Suges, what's your 6th spot?
That's what I
Everybody's
said.
got Tech at 6, and we'll see what Brendan. We're actually going to make sure we publish this weekend. I've been slacking a little bit on our picks, but we're going to make sure we get this out this weekend. So, Suges, what do you have at 6? And we'll get Brendan and Benjie's picks offline.
I have Virginia.
just if you don't have OU at 6, you're a bitch.
Okay, well, I have OU at 6. Fuck you, Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you were clamoring for them being in the top 15.
Well, I
mean,
had them at 4, but you know.
Yeah, in the false flag.
If that's
tweet.
your team, back your boys.
Well, 4 because it's in Lubbock. You know, got to downgrade them 2 points.
Okay, so who do you want your 6? Let's
OU. I'm doing.
Okay.
I'll do OU at 6.
Okay, all right. At 5, I'll go ahead and do my 5. I got Miami. I think Notre Dame is going to go into Miami and just get
Obliterated.
the pot of gold dropped on their fat Irish asses.
Giga Maggies.
Giga Maggies. All right, Travis, Miami.
They're gonna.
I got A&M in my 5.
Really? Okay.
A&M's gonna take that thumb and give old piss a prostate exam.
Okay, I'm also picking A&M, but much lower. I'm just Old Miss is like getting a little hot.
I know, but I don't think they're.
I know it. But
I think it was a fluke week. I think it was a fluke weekend.
Yeah, I don't see them, especially with how hot. I mean, not hot, but recently with how well Arkansas has been playing. I think we'll
you know
be
that
right.
meme was like, "How dare you disrespect a future U.S. Army soldier?" I feel like Old Miss fans are gonna be like, "How dare you disrespect a former #1 overall team?" So just you got in your 5 slot.
I have Vandy at my 5. I think LSU is going to continue the downslide.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sages. Before we go to number 4, I do want to. There's one player I wanted to give a shout out to. D1 Player of the Week, Maryland's Matt Shaw. I can't believe Benjie missed this. He hit 3 home runs, 8 RBI on Saturday alone. He had 7 home runs in 4 games last week. So talk about going on a heater.
Ryan Gardino did the same thing in 3 games.
Well, we know Ryan Gardino is the great Gardino. I mean, you have down
The
to
big swinging dick of the week.
Yeah. All right. Who y'all got in the 4 slot?
I got Miami 4.
Yep. I like that.
Solely based on the fact that the Catholic boys went into Florida State in 1. I think they're going to go back down to Florida
Ooh.
and win another series. I think Florida's a good luck charm for the Catholics.
They go down.
There's a
and
lot
see
of
some-
immigrants. There's
see
a lot of
some
immigrants come
titties.
from like Puerto Rico. There's a lot of Catholics that immigrate from these southern South American countries.
Wait,
There's a lot of
wrong.
Catholicism down. There's a lot of Catholicism down in Florida. I think kind of gives them a little boost. You know,
Did you say
That's-
South American?
it's a religious.
I mean, yeah, I think you meant like Latin American countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Same
look,
thing.
Got motherfuckers from Chile hitting ding dongs, dude. Like the fuck.
I'm a finance major, not a geography major.
All right. So just Shavin, what you guys got in the 4?
All right, Miami.
Right. I thought that was my own name. I've got Louisville in my 4.
I have Virginia.
Where's OU at, dude?
He has got him at 6.
They're my 6.
Oh,
Eric-
6. Oh,
Eric-
sorry.
Yeah, you can.
Must
I don't know about Virginia, man. I just
Virginia.
they started off so hot, but I don't know. I don't feel like
I honestly I don't like Louisville right now.
Okay.
I was super high on them, but I didn't like that series.
Yeah, I think that's my one series where I'm like, it
Oh,
could go
sure.
either way. I'm doing it for the points, yeah, because I feel like that could go either way. But having them at 3, it's like, okay, if I win, sweet, got 3. If I lose, okay, we're down.
So which one are you taking?
So that's your 3.
Virginia.
I'm sorry, 4. We're on 3. I'm
Whatever the next one is, that's what
Yeah,
it's
you got Miami in your 4.
yes, Miami and my 4. Virginia's at 3. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
no,
it is.
no, you were right. You were
Okay.
right. That's what you said 3.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
good.
You're good. I went with the Beavers. Going with the Beavers in my 3. I am a little bit, and again, I originally would have taken them much higher if you asked me this last week, but UCLA has been really struggling, but they've shown the flashes to beat really good teams. Like I'm pretty sure they beat Stanford, I want to say, if I'm remembering correctly. Maybe not. I can't remember. But
Who?
UCLA has shown flashes, so I'm not. I don't put it past them to beat Oregon State, but I do think the Beavers will take that series, seal the deal,
Yeah.
and seal the Pac-12.
Jake Meehoff in my 3 is he's gonna obliterate all over Louisville.
Splooge.
All
Yeah,
over them.
He's just gonna splooge all over. Them.
Splooge, what are you taking?
Speaking
3.
of splooge, I got Miami at 3.
So right now, Eric's the only one with Notre Dame. I like that. 2, I'm going to go with the Vandy boys. I think, again, LSU had a hot stretch there for a while, and they were building it up. But Vanderbilt's on a hot streak, and Louisville is on a cold. Or excuse me, LSU's on a cold streak. So I'm going with the Vandy boys.
Nice cock.
Anybody else?
My 2 pick is solely based off of nothing baseball related. There's a song. There's a really good song titled UCLA.
Does she drive a Maserati? Does she drive a Maserati?
There's no song that's equally as good about Oregon State. So I'm taking UCLA in my 2. Because that series is such a toss up. Like
it's not, dude. It's in Corvallis. UCLA doesn't have 0 chance, but I think Oregon State's going to win that one. So just.
Got all piss at my 2.
Oh no! You're giving in.
I'm drinking the old, well, not Kool-Aid. I guess I'm drinking the old
the run's
piss.
going to come down or come crashing to an end for Texas A&M?
Yeah, this last week. I think they'll still be hot in the tournament, but I just think this last week they're gonna.
No, I don't think that's a horrible pick.
I should say I'm taking Texas A&M, but in my 1, because I agree with you. It's not like it's at Ole Miss. If it was in College Station, I'd feel differently. But
Yeah.
not.
I don't know, man. I just feel like A&M's due for a series loss.
I definitely don't agree with you.
I think they're gonna do fucking amazing in the field of 64, though.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, TJ, I probably didn't want to skip you by talking about Texas A&M. My 1. Who you got?
I got Oregon State too.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'll follow it up with the 1 I got LSU. I do. Well, there's a reason I'm putting them in my 1, obviously, but Vandy's they haven't sold me this year's as they have in years past.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think there was an episode where you said I'll never ever pick Louisville or LSU to win a series.
That was with Brennan present. So
I see.
Just gotta sneak it in there this week.
So the old boys of Tiger Town.
Nice.
Listen, and I don't. I'm doing this for points. Do I think they will win? Potentially, that's why I'm doing it about 1.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like this is actually going to come down to a Sunday game.
Very safe bet.
It's going to be a 2-1 series. It's not going to be sweet.
Gotcha. Eric, Suges?
Give me the black and gold boys in pinstripes. Vandy over LSU.
Suges?
I'm gonna do the you can lose all at my 1.
You don't have to lose all. So it looks like that definitely the LSU Vandy series is the one we're feeling least confident in. The most interesting one
Yeah.
to watch. So we'll get Benjie and Brandon's picks offline. Anything you guys want to share final thoughts wise? Otherwise, we'll wrap up here. I can't speak for you guys, but I'm just really ready to get to the postseason. I'm excited to see these conference tournaments, see the field of 64. I hate reading projections because they literally change every week. And it's like, there's really no point in looking at what regional you're projected to be in until, Selection Sunday actually comes around. So excited to see where the chips all fall.
This is our last pod of the regular season.
Yeah, I will be out for the next pod, the Monday pod. Yep.
Out for life.
I will be back physically on Thursday. Mentally,
we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just excited to watch a Lubbock regional.
That dude, if they are, I mean, right now they're on track to host a regional, unless they just shit the bed in a pretty catastrophic way.
Possibly a Tech Super Regional, but.
And yeah, y'all are gonna have to blow up the chat. Let me know how things are going, because I'm not gonna be glued to my phone at all. So.
But I mean, that's why I picked Texas Tech in my 6, because it's like they're back at home. They're like smelling blood in the water in terms of like getting securing a regional spot.
After that OSU series, it kind of. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a Tech fan. I won't ever.
Obviously, they still have the whole.
I try to keep my right. Team fandoms, under the radar.
Oh, about 30 minutes ago, you said something else.
I don't want any bias, in my picks.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we still have conference tournaments, and a lot can change there, so we'll see. Excited to watch it all, though. Excited to watch it all go down. All right, guys. Thanks for hopping on. We'll catch you, listeners. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week on the other side.
Yes, sir.
Later.